Hi everyone, welcome to Science Extra. On today's episode, we are going to be discussing cells. Stay tuned. Talking about the cell. It is the basic unit of life. It can also be described as the smallest structural unit of living matter that is able to function independently. Types of cells. There are two distinct types of cells, namely eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. Talking about eukaryotic cells. Eukaryotes simply refer to those organisms that are made of cells that possess a nucleus. They are multicellular organisms. For example, human beings, plants, and animals. On the other hand, we have prokaryotes. These are just the opposite of eukaryotes. Prokaryotes do not have a cell nucleus. Prokaryotes are single-celled, microscopic entities. For example, bacteria. Cell organelles. These are subcellular structures with one or more specific functions to perform in a cell. Let's start with the nucleus. The nucleus is located in the center of the cell, hence we like to term it as the control center of the cell. The nucleus has a few very important functions. Controls all the cell activities. Contains genetic information of the cell in form of deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. It is also a site for DNA replication and thus controls cell growth and multiplication. From here, let us look at the endoplasmic reticulum. This is a network of membranous tubules within the cytoplasm of a cell. There are two types of endoplasmic reticulum. Firstly, there is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. It is called rough because it has ribosomes attached to it. Ribosomes are small round organelles whose functions is to synthesize or make proteins. In this essence, the function of the endoplasmic reticulum, together with the ribosomes attached to it, is to produce proteins. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Does not contain ribosomes. Produces fats, lipids, and chromosomes. Detoxification also takes place here. Golgi apparatus, which can also known as the Golgi body. Golgi apparatus has one most important function, which is protein modification. The function of proteins is highly dependent on the shape of that certain protein molecule, so, just adjacent to the rough endoplasmic reticulum where proteins are produced, there is the Golgi body. It packages and sorts proteins that have exited the rough endoplasmic reticulum and makes them ready for delivery to target destinations. One other important cell organelle is the mitochondria. This is known as the powerhouse of the cell. The main function of the mitochondria is to generate energy for the cell. Adenosine triphosphate, ATP, is generated here through utilization of the energy released during the oxidation of food we consume. Production of energy, or ATP, occurs through the process of aerobic respiration, which is a type of respiration that takes place in the presence of oxygen. So, in short, the mitochondria is the site for respiration as well as site for energy generation. In a cell, we also have the lysosome, which is a cell organelle involved with various cell processes. Its main functions include breakdown of macromolecules. Lysosome contains some digestive enzymes, so carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids are digested here. Lysosome also destroys pathogens. Lysosomes contain some enzymes which digest foreign substances in the body. Talking about the medium of for all cell organelles, the cytoplasm. It's a thick jelly-like fluid that fills eukaryotic cells and is enclosed by the cell membrane. The cytoplasm is mainly composed of water, salts, and proteins. the cytoplasm has one main function. It serves as a site for metabolic activities. And then again, under animal cells we have extra cells. For example, cilia. These are hair-like structures that are involved in motion of either the cell itself or some fluid. For example, in the lining of the respiratory tract there is cilia. The cilia move the mucus which has trapped dust and any other foreign particles up and out of the respiratory tract. This helps keep the respiratory tract clear, hence allowing us to breathe with ease. Still under the motility organelles, there is also the flagella. The flagella is a whip-like structure sticking out of a cell by which some organisms or cells move. For example, the sperm is made up of 90% of flagellum. Using energy provided by the mitochondria, the flagellum is able to propel the sperm forward. We also have extracellular organelles, but these are peculiar only to a plant cell. Cell wall. The cell wall is the outer covering of the cell. It is one most peculiar difference between a plant cell and an animal cell. The main function of a cell wall is to provide tensile strength to the cell. That is, the cell may experience some mechanical stress from the environment or osmotic pressure caused by the water inside the cell, so the cell wall's rigidity stands against this. The cell wall is made of cellulose. Also, the cell has a cell membrane. It can also be called the plasma membrane. The cell membrane separates the cell's interior from the outside environment. The cell membrane is partially permeable. That is, it allows only certain substances to enter the cell, thus making the main function of the cell membrane as such, to control what goes in and out of the cell. Vacuole. The vacuole is a space within a cell that is empty of cytoplasm but filled with fluid. It is one of the largest organelles in a plant cell. Its general shape is that of a big sac. The main function of the vacuole is to hold various substances and molecules like water and nutrients. The other function of the vacuole is to provide stability and support to the cell through the hydrostatic pressure it generates. Since the main function of the vacuole is to store water, it is this water that keeps the cell stiff, rigid and turgid, because the water makes the vacuole swell until it creates an internal pressure against the cell wall. And lastly, we talk about the chloroplast. For us to understand what the chloroplast is, it is important to know its main function first. The main function of the chloroplast is the site for photosynthesis. This brings us to our lesson on cells. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. See you on our next lesson. Thank you.